Okay, in the book of Ephesians it says we war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. Now, if we are given freedom from enslavement that existed before, what is the source of that enslavement? Where did it come from? And what are they? Principalities and powers refer to two orders of angels, i.e. the fallen angels. The book of Enoch, but wait a moment, they deleted that from the Bible. Let's control the flow of information. They don't need to know this stuff. So the book of Enoch's deleted. Oh, the Council of Nicaea knocked out 22 other gospels too, along with some of the acts of, who was that, Athanasius or whatever, Mary Magdalene's brother. Didn't want to give too much credence to that. After all, they had to start their propaganda campaign against Mary Magdalene. And they've waged war with the organization she set up. There's a lot more to what's going on than you can get from the superficial explanation you get from most churches. They don't want to address the fact that, the fall of the Tower of Babel records the time of an invasion of earth, somebody pretending to be God to enslave mankind.
I share this concept with people sometimes. If they've been forced into church, and they've been kind of taught that God is a racist, punishing God, that there are these stories that were left behind by the Gnostics, that there may have been something that masqueraded as God, pretended to be God, to create these world religions, to create this, archonic world of authorities and control.
Uh-huh. And when you have an authority that takes away it's just like the Declaration of Independence says, the first basic concept you have to realize. You own yourself, your being. God gave that to you. Now, as far as what God's busy with and all like that, with orchestrating and running a well-ordered universe, I think he's a little bit too busy, so he sends others to take care of his business type thing. Mm-hmm. And there's plenty of them once you start breaking free. I'm not totally free. Still got some hang-ups and shit, but I've realized a lot more of it than the average bear out there. And I realize, too, how most of society out there, it's a trap. You're entrapped in what's going on. How do you break free? I'm going about it my way. I'll let you know what I find out. You go about it your way and let me know what you find out. Maybe we can get together. But there needs to be some serious ass-kicking going on with the people that are running the show, because they've sold you a bill of goods. And it goes back to these archons, and it comes from the Greek word meaning lord or master, like a slave owner. So if you're an anarchon, you're without this slave master, or an anarchist. That is to assume total personal responsibility for yourself. Everybody wants to give away their responsibility and shift it off to somebody else. You took the law in your own hands? Where the hell else does the law exist except, it's a basic principle of our country. Governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. If the powers are unjust, they have usurped them from the people that they are supposed to serve. That's it in a nutshell. And this country was founded as a response to that. Going back, one of my favorite movies is the Kurt Russell movie, Stargate. Oh,
good one.
Explains so much. Some people say I watch too many science fiction stories, but when you watch science fiction too, like Stargate SG-1, Season 1, the episode called The Knox. You want to know how the crucifixion, how the resurrection took place? And about the kingdom of heaven, watch that show. It'll tell you how the resurrection took place. We have God within ourselves, or God does not exist at all. There is spiritual occurrences taking place. I followed spiritual leads, visions, and things like that brought me here. I met people supposedly by accident along the way that had serious impacts. Mm-hmm. There's no accidents, just like Ronnie. Ronnie had just took a bus trip down to Alabama, tried to get some business straight. Well, before he left, we're coming back from Alamosa, and this guy coming the other way driving a motorhome loses control over it, lays it down on the road in front of us. Throws out the motorhome. We called 911, stopped to give assistance if nobody was hurt. So we went on our way. And
Okay.
he's on the bus trip to Alabama, sitting there talking to this guy next to him and all the way down. And finally, right before he get to Alabama, he's the guy that was driving the motorhome. I mean, you know, the hand of fate, destiny, creation, the hand of God, whatever you want to call it. Things like this happen all the time. Okay. First thing you have to understand is the nature of the 10 dimensions. The first 4 of these dimensions are measurable and finite. Height, width, breadth, and the passage of time. Each succeeding dimension has the other earlier dimensions incorporated in them. The next 6 are immeasurable, and modern physics agrees with this 10-dimension concept that goes back thousands and thousands of years, very primal. Within the nature of these next 6 dimensions is where we find what is spoken of in the book of Ephesians, these principalities and powers. These are 2 of the orders of angels, i.e. they are interdimensional, interstellar, interspatial beings. Because beyond the 4 dimensions, the entire mechanism that's set down in the book of Revelation, for instance, is a interdimensional machine that makes the use of consciousness, use of the sharing of life. The first 7 steps on this are the 7 churches of Asia. These are the first 7 grades. Notice the 7th level, to he that overcometh will I give to sit on with me in my throne, even as I have sat down in my throne by my Father. The 7th level in the order of angels is the level of thrones. Here we have access to the level of thrones through the throne of David. The next up is the level of the cherubim, represented by the 2 cherubim and the Ark of the Covenant. This level of consciousness was separated by man from the laws of Moshe or Moses. With the rending of the veil, the advancement of the consciousness of man to the higher level of the cherubim, which is based upon the sharing between 2. Primarily in the divine nature, divine union, it is male and female. This is the strongest, most powerful, single entity that we have to fight this war. But it is a shared consciousness. Like I said earlier, the entire nature of the kingdom of heaven is a group marriage of shared consciousness, shared being, shared awareness, defining the nature of reality as we perceive it to be. Is that enough for now?
Oh, yeah.